Hey everybody, Chris Wall here. Got a fun group of folks. Garrett Taylor, our art director.
Hello, glad
See
to
you,
be
Garrett.
here.
Good choice of shirt.
Thanks,
Yeah,
sir.
didn't realize we were okay. So, Shining Out Productions is our company, and we produce the Wingfeather Saga animated series. If we haven't met, I am the executive producer and Garrett art director, and we're joined as well by Bo Sherman, who helms our animation department, keeps them all headed the same way. And you are just about done with season 2, aren't you?
Yeah, we're down to, I think, about 10 shots left.
Okay,
Wow,
we're right to it. Season 2 is coming so fast. We are so excited to be joined with Brock Starnes here. Brock he helps us make all of the great shows here, and also some of the really cool stuff you guys have had at home, t-shirts and plushies and puzzles. And the art of book was literally because Brock Starnes made it so.
Yes.
It's true.
It was a fun journey.
And you guys have had such a wait for season 2, and tonight we're so excited. We're going to be telling you a lot about how you'll get to see it. I was in Provo, Utah, home of Angel Studios, our amazing partner that's helping to make this show come to life, and got to spend some time with Neal Harmon. He's the CEO, and we're going to show you just a short little interview where he's going to tell you some really cool news about how season 2 is going to be available very soon. So with that, let's jump over and check out this interview that he and I had together just last week. So here we go. Hey, Wingfeather fans. I'm Chris Wall, executive producer of the Wingfeather Saga animated series, and we have some exciting updates about season 2 and its launch. I'm joined today by Neal Harmon, CEO of Angel Studios, and we're going to dive in with some really exciting news that I think you're going to love.
Thank you, Chris. I'm reminded that 10 years ago, when we started Angel Studios, that my oldest son, it was 9 years old.
Okay.
The reason we started the company is because we wanted to share a great story with him that would teach him the principle of honesty. And for me to be here with you right now, particularly after Michael recently shared with me that Wingfeather is some of the best storytelling he's ever seen. And now he's 21 years old. So we made this journey from 9 years old to 21 years old. And the whole reason that we started this company is because we wanted something that we could share together as a family. And Wingfeather is like the best example to me of co-viewing of great principles, things that everyone in the family will enjoy, even parents, and so this is a really exciting thing for me personally, for us to be announcing the launch of season 2 of Wingfeather.
Yeah, and I just want to comment on this too. So we're not in any of my normal spaces that we get to see you guys. We are out here in Utah at Angel Studios, and I've spent the last couple of days with so many of your team, as we do, and it's a shared love. What's been delightful is across this whole team is this shared love of the same kind of entertainment. In particular, there's a lot of Wingfeather fans here, y'all. Lots. It's very fun. And they're asking about what happens in this season 2 moment. You know, it's kind of, hey, slow on, you'll see it soon. So that shared love is great. And so season 2 is coming very soon. How are they going to get to see it, Neal? What's their path?
So I shared the very beginning of Angel Studios, VidAngel, just for the reason of I had a 9-year-old son and daughters, and I wanted to share a great story with them. And I didn't see a way to teach principle without skipping over stuff. And what we found is that our Angel Guild members, people who have invested in previous shows and people who are supporting Angel Studios' mission, is that the thing that they're very most concerned about is reducing the negative impact of media on children. And you can complain all day long, or you can do something about it.
Let's go make something. Yeah. And I think that we have heard that same thing, which is a lot of stories talk about families in a way that a lot of our families don't identify with. That is, parents are either dumb or absent or otherwise hurtful, and kids are better on their own. And like in our family, like that's not entirely true. And so what we loved about Wingfeather when we read it as a family was, hey, here's a family dealing with really difficult things together. And finding that if I talk to my mom and dad, they're into helping me to solve the problem, right? That we're stronger together. That's a basic pattern. Like that's not the front door of what Wingfeather offers, but it is something that families and audiences really resonated with and said, yeah, that's like us. Thank you. Because this other thing where dad is dumb or mom is checked out and kids are like, leave me alone. You don't know what I need. That doesn't work out in the real world. It's actually kind of painful. And people go through that, of course, but we wanted to show a story where not only does family love each other, but they actually like each other. And want to be around each other. And I think a lot of our families have said, hey, that's our family on screen.
That's right.
This is
That's
great.
right.
We love it.
Well, and when our kids see stories that they love watching on screen that portray a positive family, it influences them subconsciously, influences them in the future. VeggieTales has had an impact on my children who are now adults, and the same thing's going to happen with Wingfeather.
And it's positive that you describe it as a membership. I have other streaming services that I pay a subscription service, but you've said this guild is not a subscription service, it's a member. How is it different?
That's a great question. So with Netflix, you pay $15 a month to have your, 5 screens or whatever it is, and then access to content. You can't watch the show without paying the fee. At Angel, there's all kinds of things that you can watch for free, but if you're an Angel Guild member, you get a few things that you don't get at Netflix and you don't get anywhere. One is that, there were 1,000 people who watched Cabrini, which is coming out. 1,000 people voted on it. They got to see Cabrini before it came to theaters. They got to see Cabrini before it was done and decide that Cabrini should go to theaters. And that's going to happen for any Angel Guild member. You're going to, in fact, my kids just watched early animatics for season 2 of Wingfeather Saga.
Some of you did too.
Inside of the Guild.
Yeah.
And we'll get early sneak peeks at season 3 and on to future seasons and other types of information. And we can give feedback. And this feedback helps Chris and his team improve the show and helps Alejandro and his team helped them improve Cabrini. So that's the first thing, is that you get to see stuff before anybody has ever got to see stuff. Like Netflix and the old studio system, you don't get to see it till it's done.
Right.
With the Angel Guild, you get to see this stuff while the magic's happening. That's it's one of my favorite things here at Angel. And then finally, you get to have early access to all the shows that are coming out. We want to make them available to the Guild members first, to celebrate them for supporting these shows. And so now, everything will always be free, but there will be a window when it becomes available in the Guild first for everyone. And this is the best way for us to support these filmmakers, where people are contributing on a regular basis. And what this means is that we get to tell more and better stories. It also can mean that we can move forward the production of some of the shows. And the hope is that we can have Wingfeather Saga Season 3 be on a good cadence after Season 2.
Yeah, and we know a lot of you fans have been like, Season 2, when is it ever going to come? And for some of you kids out there, it's like, it's forever. It just takes so long. Animation does take a long time. But one of the things we're excited about with setting up for Season 3 is that as Season 2 comes out, you will be helping to make Season 3 through this process. And so many of you have paid it forward, and it's been astonishing. Andrew and I have just sat back in wonder at people who would buy merch and to support it. Every time you buy one of these, it helps support the show, and pay it forward simultaneously. Like, that's incredible. And we're so thankful. And that will always help us to keep the show free for a big, wide audience there. But then there's those of you that are like, how else can I help the show? How else can I help make sure that it keeps going? And so this new guild seems like it could be a way for them to really partner with us in a long-term basis.
Yeah, we've seen great success with the guild so far. Now, Andrew has been saying for a long time that this show is always going to be free, and that is our intention. This is a change in strategy, and we hope you'll be patient with the change in strategy. Those of you who wouldn't be able to afford to be a guild member, we're still going to make this show available for free for you. And it's just going to be that the Angel Guild members get it a little early. So this is a change, because I think that most of the Wingfeather community, because this has all been free, is expecting that the whole show will be free here in the spring. And while we wish we could do that, the numbers don't lie, and our most important mission here at Angel Studios is to make this sustainable. We're figuring out a model right now together, all of us. Like, you guys have helped us discover this, where we can tell these stories. And as we succeed, then there will be more filmmakers who come to that model. And it just so happens that right now, I mean, I was just in LA and also in New York and meeting with filmmakers who are part of the industry, and they said, everything's broken right now. Like, it's not working anymore. Things just aren't working the way that they used to. And we're figuring out a new model. And so it's so exciting to be a member of the Angel Guild, because not only are we reducing the negative impact of media on children, but we're shaping the future of the film industry. And some of the major players are starting to try to copy what we're doing. And if they copy what Chris is doing with Wingfeather, to where we have more great kids and family content,
That's a win.
That's a win for all of us.
Absolutely. Yeah, and I know for a lot of you, you know the Wingfeather Saga maybe from the books or just have watched season 1 with us. And what you know is it's been the desire for Andrew and myself to tell this story the way it should be told, to not have, kind of filters and adjustments that often occur inside of a studio system. And some of those can really change the story. And we've all seen adaptations that just didn't land where we wanted them to, right? And Wingfeather is Andrew and I walking side by side, making the books that he authored into this TV show, right? So it's authentic, it's true to its voice, it's different, which we intend to make it a fresh experience, but it is true to the author's intent, and that is really important to us, and that's not something that's guaranteed in other systems. And because of our partnership here with Angel Studios and putting it out this way, and your support, it means that the story stays true. And that's something that wouldn't happen other places. I can guarantee you, I've been there, but here it does. These guys are our champions. They're cheering us on in making this show, and then enabling for you all to support the show so that it can keep going. All right, so the question is, though, when are they going to get to see the first episodes of season 2? That's the big question.
So the first episodes of season 2 are available for Guild members starting the 5th of April, right?
April 5th. There it is. That's your start date. Get your banner out. There we go. And that will be for Guild members to get the early access.
That's right.
And then everybody else will see it free just a little bit later. We'll announce that date later on. But that first window. And so if that's you, if you want to partner in this way, that's great. If it's not, just hang on a little bit, and we'll keep.
My understanding is you've already got some animatics on season 3, even.
We do, yeah. I'll actually head to a meeting tomorrow on middle of the season already on the animatics for season 3. So so there's gonna be some fun stuff we can share very soon out of season 3, which for all of you reading the books, season 2 is most of book 2 of the series. Season 3 is the very important ending of book 2 in the Ice Prairies and getting to see Chimera. So
Right, and so as a Guild member, so I got to go with Chris and the Wingfeather team, and I got to see them put up on the board. What did you call that process when you put all those cards up?
All our writers retreat, and so we beat out each episode with these cards that say what the beats of the story are, right? And so then
that's right.
We laid all the beats out on
the
cards and then walked through a whole timeline of what season 3 would look like.
And it was delightful. And honestly, the first thing that I said after seeing the beat session was, Chris, are you really going to be able to keep this within budget? This is a massive season.
Big. Yeah.
And that was my first question. He's like, no, we're getting the system. And they actually reduced the cost of season 2 from what they were planning. They're under budget.
Amazing.
So they're being extremely careful with resources. But the reason I wanted to share that with you is because now they're at a stage that's beyond the beats stage where they're doing these animatics. And my kids, they love them. They'll watch them over and over again inside the Guild, and they'll vote on it. And this is something that can happen with your family, where you can be part of this story as it's being made. And we need your help. This is not going to succeed without you. The Wingfeather audience in particular is a unique group of people. You funded the very first season of Wingfeather Saga in record-breaking time. We just are so excited about not only the future of this show, but what we're seeing happen is that this show is giving future filmmakers a vision for what they can do.
And what we, for Wingfeather Saga, we want Wingfeather Saga to go on all 7 seasons and tell the entire story. Simultaneously, help other stories to be told like it. We don't want to be alone in telling that story. And so as we achieve success and grow, and your support helps that, we're excited about creating a space for others to come and find success also. And so you can be a part of that. April 5th will be the Guild exclusive early window. And again, the rest of you can watch it for free just a little bit later. But April 5th, we're going to celebrate with those folks. And they'll get to be a part of watching season 2 unfold, which, each season we've made episodes that we thought, I don't know if we can make that. Season 1 was near the end, the battle at Ankle Jelly Manor. We're like, I don't know in the script if we could pull it off because it was armies and fires and stuff. We had to invent ways to make fire in our style. Season 2, right out the gate, involves a waterfall. That's all I'm going to say. And it was very hard to figure out how to make water. Season 3, we got to figure out snow and ice. And that was really from the beginning. We knew Wingfeather Saga is this traveling show, moving through all these different lands, and each time we're going to have to solve for how do we do this? And we have a great team. Keith Lango, of course, on our team, head of CG production design, has done some amazing work to solve for these things. And it's catching the industry's attention. We use Unreal Engine, as many of you know, and we're doing it alone. We don't have Epic Games helping us to make this, and I've been in contact with them recently, and they're just shocked that we've made 2 seasons of television with this tool, and so visually distinctive, right? And thanks to your support. You can keep doing that. Help us get season 2 out there as widely as possible, and season 3 to come even faster. So thank you, Neal, for joining today.
Thank you.
Great to have you.
Yeah, it was good to have you too, and thanks for helping pioneer the next industry around kids and family.
That's my pleasure. And he's right. There are stressful days, folks. Most of my stress involves the fangs of Dang and whether Florid Sword can save us or not from these guys. So, but on occasion, there's also company stuff. All right. Thanks, y'all. Thanks for joining, and excited to show you season 2 very soon. Those of you who want to join us in that early access, do so. But thank you all for tuning in. Take care. There it is. The Guild. Wingfeather Saga fans know that there's a guild in our story. And so this kind of seemed like a natural fit that there'd be some sort of qualifier to see, how big a fan you are, I guess, as they come in. Hey, we've got Garrett still here, but we've also got Andrew Peterson. Andrew, are you there? Hey. Oh, my gosh.
Take that, and that, and that, and that. No. Oh,
Good
hey
heavens.
guys.
Oh, hey. What's up, man?
Hey. I
Hey,
didn't
so
even know you were there.
Angel Studios rolling out a guild. You've written about guilds. You know all about this. And I know you
I'm
love
like a
giving
guild
people
expert.
insight. You've been talking to me for a while about hey, Chris, I want to tell people more about what I'm experiencing day to day. And I think the guild might be able to wait for you to do that.
Yeah.
It's like I'm just going to let the floodgates open now.
Yeah, it's funny. There's so much interesting stuff happening behind the scenes on a regular basis that I'm also aware that there's marketing teams and there's people running social media, and I'm I just wish there was a way to share all this. So yeah, I think the guild has a lot of promise. I think it's going to be very cool.
Yeah, and I think, Andrew, the impulse you have is the moment that you've had, you've done this to me, okay, the other day we saw a certain character for the first time, and we both kind of freaked out, right?
Yeah.
Right, that. Now that one's kind of a spoiler. We'll probably wait a little bit on that one. But there's so many moments that you and I go through in a day of seeing really cool stuff that we want to share, but maybe not out to the whole public yet because it would be confusing. Perhaps inside the guild we can do some of that.
It reminds me a lot of the Patreon model, which is what a lot of songwriter friends of mine do. My daughter's on Patreon. It's this really cool way for people to support singer-songwriters that they love, and what they get is all this fun, fun content, songs that aren't quite finished. People will post stuff, so it allows people who really care about this artist and supporting them. They get to be a part of the journey, and I feel like this is a little picture of that. It's beautiful to me. I'm excited about it.
Well, it's kind of a big night. April 5th is coming very soon, and I know we're all pretty excited about it. There's much rejoicing everywhere.
Yeah.
Thanks for Thanks for chiming in here, AP, on this. I want to turn to Garrett real quickly here. Garrett, you spend a lot of time making the show. Like when I say that, actually painting, whether it's designing a cool shirt. These are our new staff shirts, which we are nerding out wearing the same shirt. Nicely done. These actually have a really cool, our logo behind us right here. Oh, which by the way, Brock's off screen. Can you go grab the thing up front, the big shining owl thing? We can show them. That's really cool. And we love making stuff, and we want to share more of that with you guys. Garrett, recently you did a tutorial for some of our staff on how to paint Wingfeather Saga backgrounds. Tell us about that.
Yeah, we got to a point where we started wrapping most of our kind of standard background painters. At this point, we've gotten, just years of experience in developing these background paintings. And so some of our regular staff were offered the opportunity to kind of learn the craft. And so I just did a quick demo on, what the best practices are, the techniques to be able to build up a background painting from scratch. And that's something we recorded, and that's for sure something that we could throw up on the Guild just to kind of bring the audience and bring our supporters into the world. I kind of feel like it's going to be like a live art of book, where as stuff is being created, rather than, trying to filter it all out and find the right amount that fit into a certain size book, we can actually just kind of be throwing it up in the Guild. It's really our goal to bring as much value to that as possible. Obviously, it's a price point, and a lot of folks are going to just be shocked by that because we're used to free stuff on Angel. But it is for sure our goal to just be pouring as much kind of behind the scenes content in there as possible to be able to show that value and to just benefit our fans.
Absolutely. And again, this is absolutely the most amazing thing that you guys have supported so far. Like I said in the previous interview, Andrew, we've all felt this, is these folks have come alongside us every step of the journey. All these fans, all of our support, we've felt that you felt over the years, writing the books, taking them out, and now as the animated series is out, we've heard, I know, Andrew, you've heard it too, a number of folks saying, how can I help support the show? How can I help us to take it out and make it bigger? It continues to grow at a rapid rate. But this is a way that you can meaningfully help us as we move from season 2, finishing that up very quickly, into season 3. And we'll talk more about that in a minute. But yeah, we think this is going to be a great way to do it. Andrew, talk to me about, as you talk to fans about the show and their anticipation, is there something that you are particularly excited about them seeing here in season 2 that they've read about and been waiting for?
Well, this is kind of a funny answer. Earlier today, we like the team got to watch 203. So
hey Ryan, can you had your mic open earlier and we could hear him through the studio. Can you turn that back on?
Can you hear me okay? You want me to keep talking? Keep trying it? Hello? Okay. So earlier today I was there was like a team screening of episode 3, and I wasn't able to be there, so it was like after the fact. I was here in my office and I was like, oh, I really want to see the most finished version of 203. And so anyway, I was sitting in the office and it was am I allowed to talk about this? Like, do you want me to not spoil anything? I don't know how much
you're
to
good.
say.
Go for it, man.
Well, there's a moment. One of my favorite moments in book 2 is when they're in the Strander camp, and they first meet Claxton Weaver, and Poto kind of has the standoff with Claxton Weaver, and he tells the story. And I remember vividly when I was doing the audiobooks for these, and when I was doing like the read-alongs during COVID, like it's a long chapter where I had to talk in pirate voice for like a long time, like Poto's like growly pirate voice. And anyway, I could envision it in my head so well. Like I was just thinking, the story that Poto tells about his youth has got to like carry the next 5 pages of reading. And then I saw, the finished episode today, and it's just, it's hard to convey how cool it is, but it's exactly how I pictured it. Like the team pulled it off just right. Kevin McNally's acting is amazing. And like to see Poto tell this story to Claxton Weaver is just one of the moments. Like it's not a big battle scene, you know, it's not but it was such a masterfully shot moment from the team because it's a story that's being told within a story, and it's just riveting to me. So I can't wait for people to see it in episode 3. That's what I was gonna say too. When I talk to fans out on the road, you know, people who really love the show, you know, the thing that keeps coming up is the ending. You know, it's like everybody's just like, I can't wait to get to season 7. Like we want to see how you're gonna film, you know, the big finale of the last battle, all the stuff that's going to happen to the very end. And like, you know, it's like if we've got to make it to season 7, you know? And so I was just on the Christmas tour a couple months back. We had a show in Atlanta, and Jodie Benson came backstage. And I've met Jodie plenty of times doing recordings and stuff on Zoom calls, but we had never been actually in the same room. So she came backstage during the show, and we just had a ball talking about it. And she said, "We've got to make it to season 7." I was like, "You're right. We've got to make it to season 7." So anyway, it was cool to me to like that we're thinking in those terms. You know, it's like the moves we're making now are like, because we want to get to the end of this story, and the fans, the people who are invested in this thing, are the ones that are going to help us get there.
Yeah, and I think that as people join the guild, they're part of that renew a new season, right? I mean, I think we're used to that. I just heard today that the Avatar Airbender, the Netflix series, got renewed for 2 more seasons. And as people join our guild, they're basically putting their voices say, keep making Wingfeather, right? Make it to season 3, to season 4, all the way. So for folks that are tracking, obviously season 2 here that we're about to deliver is 7 more episodes. Andrew, you and I just watched all of them together because we're getting excited about the DVD Blu-ray, which will release later this summer. And it's about 3.5 hours of great episodes that we got to grind through together. And it's incredible, you guys. And it just keeps getting better. Season 3, we've seen a bunch of it already in animatics. Yeah, and one other thing I wanted to bring attention to is obviously I'm wearing this shirt, but Andrew, you and I were walking around your field back in 2015 going, hey, what if we figured out a way to make a company and bring this thing to life, and what's the name of it? And you were like, oh, Shining Isle. Oh my gosh, that's a great name. And then we got this cool logo design, and Garrett helped us. And then at Christmas, we had this cool thing happen. It's so cool.
Yeah.
This is our friend David Watson helped create this, and we're actually going to put this video in the guild, but it was a really cool reveal for our staff of him making it, the multiple pieces and types of wood, and yeah. Handcrafted.
Super
okay,
cool.
There was a laser involved.
Super cool.
Let's be honest. Just I don't want you to get chisels in your mind. But yeah.
Awesome.
So, anyways, we love making stuff here, and you guys have empowered us to do that. And then our friends at Angel Studios are helping us to get it out to the world in big ways. So we have a really exclusive clip coming up here in just a second that we're excited to show you. It's a little bit from episode 1 of season 2, and we're going to get to that in just a minute. And then we want to hear your questions. This is a lot of new news, and so if you have questions, put them in the comments wherever you're watching this, and Andrew and I, and I'm going to put Garrett on the spot for some of these, are going to answer some of these questions. So drop those in there for us, and the team will load them up, and we can see what we can do to take the best. Well, there's one. Grace says, Andrew, I love you. Aww, it's like a warm hug right there, just like that.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
I just made it weird. Brock, I'm going to invite you to join us back again. Garrett, see you in just a minute.
Yeah.
So Brock Starnes here is one of our executive producers and helps to pull together all the artists who are all over this way, I think. There you are. Now you're in the movie. And we worked together for a long time.
An edge right here, Chris.
I think the products that we've been able to generate over the past year, you and of course Garrett contributed to that, have really been a blast for the fans to discover. Obviously the figurines, you get to be part of that. What engagement are you most excited about coming up? I know for the guild members there's something really special.
Yeah, we do. We've been brewing up. How do we? how do we take the products that we've made on the store, and how do we make exclusive products for guild members that carry forth kind of the handcraftedness that the products so far have. Many of our shirts are drawings by our artists, our illustrators. The art of book really captures, kind of pulls forward what the process of making season 1 and has been. And so we're really excited to see how do we build on that and develop those further into season 2 and into in the guild specifically.
So what's it going to take for a guild member to get, their own special shirt that they know is their shirt inside the guild? Like, can we make that happen?
I think we can craft something for that.
Because I think that would be a cool perk if you're inside of our guild supporting the show ongoing. We should make that happen. Andrew, I have some ideas on what that could be. There's some popular shirts out in the world right now in the Wingfeather world. We've seen it on the fan sites related to Oscar. We can maybe do a shirt with Oscar. Just put it out there.
Well, I mean, we may need to ask Oscar himself about that. I mean, Andrew, can we get in touch with Oscar somehow and maybe see what he thinks?
Let me check with him. I was going to answer, but I've been fighting this toothy cow for the last 10 minutes. I don't know if I can or not. I don't know.
Sorry, so dumb.
We do need to get figurines. We've talked about this, Brock, and it's got to be on the pipeline. But we need Nia and Poto and probably an Oscar figurine.
Oh, we definitely do. And I don't know if you guys have seen I guess you have in the teaser trailer, but what our season 2 characters look like.
Yeah.
I mean, the costuming of our main characters.
Yep.
I mean, they're on the run. They're in adventure mode, and it's awesome.
We're going to bring you in the guild a deeper dive into the process of making those new costumes. That's something that we worked on for a while. Activewear, Garrett, we talked about getting some proper activewear. But season 2 is coming quickly. All right, we have held on long enough. We want to show you this really cool clip. What you can expect to see April 5th inside of the guild for our early access guys. Again, like we said over and over in our talk, everybody will get to see the show for free later. But those of you that are guild members will get to see an early look at this April 5th. So here's a really cool clip from episode 1 of season 2. Check this out.
Oscar, help me!
Wake up, Nugget. Please. It's all right. You need to wake up. It just slobbered on me.
Steady now. Draw your sword slowly.
I think it's the mist. I read something about this in Creaturepedia. Dink!
Children, you need to climb out.
Get Nugget and your sister out of here. Now!
Gargan. Gargan.
What? Speak up!
Rock roach! We're in a rock roach den!
Run, Jenna!
That scene is such a cool scene.
Oh, I can't believe it.
Can't we watch more?
Andrew, I had to tell you, as a dad reading aloud to my kids years ago when you gave me this book, I didn't have a good mental picture for the rock roach. So when the team started into it, of course, I looked at Creaturepedia.
I had no idea it would be so cool.
I actually didn't really either. I just tried to imagine the scariest giant bug I could. I'm from Florida, where the cockroaches are almost as big as rockroaches, so I didn't have to use my imagination too much.
Yeah, well, it's an incredible scene. We've talked a lot about making scenes that are really scary for our team to figure out how to do. Rockroach plush, what do you think?
That may be one we're gonna wait on a little bit.
But you could
let's
squeeze
see.
it and there'd be like a bad smell out of it.
Oh, I know. Ooh, be brutal.
They can't be
The
killed
difficulty is, does he get bigger?
Fair point.
Is there a moment
It's like a growing
worth considering? I don't know. Maybe we should highlight that.
We could do one of those little compressed things that you put in a glass of water and it grows into something.
Oh yes.
You remember those when we were kids?
Great.
Yeah. Or those small ones where you can just leave them around the house in indiscreet locations, and then people find them and they get
Or we could just sell
terrifying.
real
It's a
Florida
rough-
cockroaches.
Yeah, basically what we're doing here. Okay, I'm gonna bring our friend Bo back in. Brock, good to see you.
Thanks,
Next,
Chris.
Bo has been. I think Bo. Did we talk about this? You're employee number 1, right? Joined us to be part of the studio. Nice merch. And Bo has been working with our CG department and animation department for all this run, and you have just been winding down with the animators, getting to the end of animation for season 2, which allows everybody else to then build out the episodes, which, as you saw on the calendar, folks, this is super exciting. You had to wait a little longer, but it means we will have these episodes released week to week, all the way through all 7 episodes, which is going to be amazing. So episode 7 is just about done. Is there a highlight for you, whether something you animated or something someone else on the team animated, that you're just so proud of or excited about?
Oh man, I don't want to spoil, but there's a sequence that's very emotional after a crazy scene happens and stuff like that. But just the animators that took care of this sequence just really nailed the nuance of the emotion that is to be felt by the characters, and one in particular. And it's an amazing sort of thing to see come to life.
I think I know what scene you're talking about. And the voice actors do such a great job. Andrew, I know that's something that you and I hold dearly, is really getting these really honest performances from these guys. But the animators are just finding ways to make it real. And Andrew, we talked a little bit about the separation of Wingfeather Saga compared to other cartoons or just other entertainment, where it has a veneer of that feels fake. And something that's so cool about Wingfeather is it feels like a real world with real people in it. That was something I know you wanted in books, and clearly is we're trying for the animated series.
Absolutely, yeah. Trying not to make it cartoony. There's like a difference between childishness and childlikeness, and we want to take the kids on a journey that resonates with them in a true way, where the way that people are made. Even though the Air We Are is a completely different world, but the human characters are still human characters. We want people to care about them. And so, it's just like, we're not making a cartoon, we're making an epic story. And so I would agree with Bo. I think that, man, the animators just have been killing it, because there's like an emotiveness and a reality to the way that characters' faces work and the way their acting works that is so convincing. It's unlike anything that I've ever seen in a television show, for sure.
And especially in a television show, I think that's what we talk about a lot with, our show is, we've raised a lot of money to help set the foundation for the show, and now it's growing into season 2 and 3, and its audience size is growing, and it just is kind of, the flywheel is spinning up. But compared to the cost of your average feature film, so this week, of course, later the week, Kung Fu Panda 4 comes out. I don't know what its production budget was, but most of those are about $1 million for every finished minute. Ballpark. It's probably in that territory. And we are...
Say that one more time just to let it sink in.
What's that?
Say it one more time just to let it sink in. $1 million per minute.
Per minute.
That's crazy.
Yeah. But when you math it out that way, it makes it feel a lot scarier, doesn't it? And so in TV animation, you just got to move quicker, and you get kind of average performances. Like, you kind of get you've worked a long time in animation, though, and I know you've seen this. It's not for lack of trying, but you have limited ability. And I think Ron Smith, who's our animation director, it starts with the material, Andrew. When the material is grounded and gives the imagination something to root into, it gives everybody all the way through the process something to launch out of, right? The beautiful artwork, the characters, the actors get to launch into it. Everybody gets to go, ooh, I got somewhere to go. Sometimes the materials just doesn't have that, right? It's thin. Each of these assignments, as we set it up, you, Ron, and the team have found ways into it.
Yeah, and again, just much respect to the animators. Our quota is pretty high on what they have to do each week, and they just dive in and they love it. You know, I always try to check in with people, just like, hey, how you feeling? How you doing? And they're just like, I love it. And you know, now that we're kind of ramping everybody off and taking, you know, the animators will move on to other projects and stuff, come back for season 3, but they're all super pumped and they can't wait. They still send me messages like, hey, you know, any updates, anything? It's like, oh,
They're coming.
Yeah, love it.
And you can be part of that
Hey,
process.
so
The faster we get funding for season 3, the faster we go back into production at full speed. So thanks for
I was
all
going
of
to say,
your
Chris, just to finish the $1 million a minute thing, what does our show work out to be?
Right about 30,000. Yeah, I mean, you can back into it, folks. If you go look at what we raised for season 1, our cost per episode is pretty consistent. Actually, in season 2, we came in under budget. We're so proud. The team has worked really hard, and it's been, great.
Amazing.
Some shows go more and more expensive each year, and not us, folks. Finding ways to do it even better. Better footage, like what you're going to see all throughout season 2 is going to blow your mind, and doing it efficiently, which is awesome. In the Guild, they're going to get to see some behind the scenes of animation in progress. We actually did a little scene earlier that will show up in the Guild probably tomorrow. That is what it looks like animating a scene with Janner and Nurgabog. So yeah, that's right in there. So lots of cool stuff we want to pack into the Guild. Let's take a minute and answer some questions. I think we got a few flowing in here. See if we can hear our best thoughts. Oh, who is the most book accurate character in your opinion?
Man, it's hard to like do that in like a superlative kind of way, because they're all, I mean, really accurate. One of the ones that in season 2 that has just kind of really nailed what it was that I was imagining is Nurgabog. You just mentioned Nurgabog. I have to brag a little bit. My son Aiden, I think, is the one who designed her character, and seeing her come to life, and then Leslie Nichol doing her voice, you know, from Downton Abbey. It's just like I can't. It's hard to convey how weird it is to have thought this stuff up and then to see it on a screen, and for it to be so close to what it is that you imagine. I just can't believe it. So right now,
funny. I really thought you were going to say Oscar.
I don't know. Oh, I don't know.
You do such a great job. And folks that don't know, Andrew, of course, plays Oscar in Retief, and he just brings such warmth. And if you've ever listened to Andrew in the audiobooks for Wingfeather, you know that he's an excellent performer too. And it's been so glad you said yes to playing the character. Awesome. All right, what other questions we got here? Are there more songs? No more singing. Stop singing. That's not true. Yes, there are. We've actually had, that's an interesting question, right, Andrew? Because the journey in season 2 takes us through lands that have a little less music at the moment. But there is a particular song that we're very excited about later in the season.
Yeah.
It's
a priority that we keep music in this show. So yes.
Yeah, we can't say you have to join the Guild to find out what the song is. You're the worst. Awesome. What other questions we got? We got a couple more here. Will there be season 2 specific merch? Brock, question for you.
Yes.
He nods his head, says yes. There will be season 2 specific merch. Absolutely. Hopefully some more characters. A couple more questions here. What do we got? Will you ever do a fan art contest? So so in case you don't notice, we do a Wingfeather Fan Art Friday, and we have folks that submit stuff via social media and email, and we put those out there to share them. when they compete, it gets because somewhere there's a child who's being told that they are not as good as someone else, and I don't know. You want to do it?
Some fan art.
Okay, so it's in the Roblox game. I'm getting all kinds of information. Garrett's down for a competition. Thinks that can happen. So I'm glad you can be that guy. Yeah. Okay. All right. What are the questions here? When is the release date for non-guild members? Not disclosed yet. I mean, that's all there's to it. We are going to let the guild have it for a certain period, and then we will announce that. Don't worry, we'll get well in front of it. I will tell you that we are aiming to be out on DVD and Blu-ray sometime in summer, right? And a lot of folks really love being able to buy it and own it, which was our delight. Season 1, that DVD and Blu-ray sold like crazy. Very excited for us, as well as a lot of you went. So that's great. If that's the way you want to get into the show, awesome. We're aiming to get that sooner this year. Last year we kind of delayed a little bit, so we're working on that. But it will be free a little bit later here. I know that's hard for families to turn to your kids, and when is it coming out? I don't know. But soon enough. For now, April 5th, we'll start the road with the guild. We're very excited about this. If you go sign up with this, you can actually use a code. We've been given a code. The code word is Featherhead. If you use the code Featherhead in Angel Guild inside Wingfeather Saga, you will get 10% off the first month. And so the crew over there wants to celebrate getting this out there. So that's a redemption thing you can use there. Well, these episodes are going to come quick. Over the next month, we are going to do some cool watch parties of Season 1, celebrating all that sets up for Season 2. So look for those announcements on socials. If you're not following us, of course, go check us out on YouTube and on Facebook, and all the places. At Wingfeather Saga is up everywhere. And we're going to have lots of build-up over the next few weeks, including finally a premiere date, Andrew, which we're very excited about. In the meantime, Andrew, you're off to do your Easter tour. Those of you who don't know, he's an author and also an amazing musician. And so you start on an Easter tour here just in a week or two?
Yeah, in a week. Yeah, we start next week. We'll be on the road until just after Easter.
That's great. So your time and attention will be spent there, and then as soon as you're complete with that cycle, we'll be ready to celebrate episode 1. So
can't wait.
Yeah, that's great. Hey, thanks for joining us, folks. Really appreciate you taking the time. And more questions, feel free to reach out to us. info@wingfeathersaga.com is an email address if you want to use that. Otherwise, hit us on Facebook, other places, and we'll try to answer your questions as we roll this out. Thanks for joining us. Guys, thanks for joining us in the studio here. Good to have you. Andrew, good to see you, man.
Good to see you guys.
Have a good night, everybody. See you later.
Bye.
All the old legends must have begun as ordinary days. Things that simply unfolded as someone went along. It was only afterward, once it was done, that it became... In the words of Vanguard the Scribe, more obvious. What I mean to say is, if I survive these times, perhaps it will be my lot to scribe what I've witnessed. A tale of legends come to life. Fangs! Assemble!
Anira is sacked and gone.
We can't stay here.
Bows ready! Shoot!
What do we do now, Papa?
We stand and fight.